Hi, everyone, and welcome into another episode of Joshing Around Milwaukee. My name is Josh Albrecht, and with me, as always, is...
Hey, it's Josh Albrecht.
That's right, Josh Albrecht and Josh Albrecht, here to talk to you about all the wonderful things in Milwaukee that make Milwaukee so great. And we are very, very excited to have on today a returning guest, but first time in the radiofied version of Joshing Around, the artistic director of Milwaukee Skylight Music Theater, Michael Unger, joining us. Michael, how are you?
I'm great, and just you should know that my name used to be Josh Albrecht also.
Yeah, but you changed it.
I changed it because there were already two.
Because there was already two in the
who
city.
needs three in one city?
Yes, it was a struggle. I understand.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
So the last time that we talked to you, we actually were in the theater and we were having a lot of fun. But for people who haven't seen that episode or unaware, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do as the artistic director, and what's going on at the Skylight Music Theater.
Happy to. So, name is Michael Unger, for real, and I'm the artistic director at Skylight Music Theater. I've been there since September of 2019. It's been a wonderful 6-something years, and I am in charge of all the artistic things that happen at Skylight. So, I'm a major part of picking the shows, picking the people, casting the people, picking the creative teams. I have a lot of help from an amazing staff as well. But my partner, Susan Varela, is the executive director in charge of sort of the more business side of things, of fundraising and, ticket sales and all that other development stuff.
So how, you talked about is essentially all the pieces that lead to what we as theater goers get to experience. You're making a lot of those decisions. Talk to us a little bit about the timeline of when you have to make those decisions, because later in today's show, we're going to kind of break down some of the highlighted shows and the upcoming season. How far in advance are you planning all that out?
Yeah, so we try to plan out a year in advance. We don't always make that. We're getting a little better and better each time we inch a few weeks earlier every season to announce the next season. We actually have 2 seasons from now almost set already.
Wow, look at that.
We just announced our next season a week ago tonight. We'll talk about that in a minute. But it's an amazing job. I truly love my job because there's always something different happening every day, and you just work with the highest level creative people possible. You can't do what we do without having crazy creativity. And, because we're a smaller theater, we also have to be very budget conscious. So ingenuity is a huge part of what we do. Trying to put on, really impressive world-class shows with limited budget is not easy. So it's a matter of creative casting, creative design, creative budgeting, creative, tricks that, stage effects that may seem like they're huge and complex, but they're actually kind of simple, So there are quite a few of those tricks in our upcoming show, Midsummer, A Rockin Midsummer Night's Dream. But, there's so many moving parts to running a theater, both on the artistic side and the executive side. And it's really hard to coordinate all those. So luckily we have a great group of people to help us do that. But it all starts with the idea of what we're going to put on, because our business is putting on shows.
And it's, by the way, Josh, the venue, Skylight Music Theater, is absolutely beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Like we did the podcast from there a few years ago. Those who've never stepped foot are missing out on a jewel of a destination in the city of Milwaukee. Downtown, 3rd Ward. It's just beautiful. Like, how do you even prepare people? Because they're just thinking, I'm going to go into a theater, and then you probably see the awe on their face every time, right?
Yeah, I don't like to prepare people, because when I walked in there for the first time, when I interviewed for this job, my jaw literally dropped, because they don't make theaters that look like that anymore. They just don't. And a lot of it is trompe l'oeil, which means sort of trick of the eye painting. So it's all scenic painting, which is perfect for a theater, obviously. But it is really stunning. And I love watching people walk in. Their jaw drops first when you come in the back of the house and you see the beautiful proscenium and the gold and brown hues and all the beautiful painting. And then I say, go to the front of the aisle, turn around right at the stage and look up, and then they see the wonder of the ceiling and the chandelier and the quote on the ceiling. It is really a jaw-dropping experience. Every single time I walk in, I am reminded of how special this place is. And it's also very intimate. It's a 325-seat house, so no matter where you sit, it's a great seat. You feel the emotion on stage. And we are Milwaukee's home for music theater, and we are the home theater for many musical theater performers in town, understandably. And to perform on that stage feels like a warm hug, because the theater does wrap around, and it's so beautiful. And you can sort of feel the audience's energy. it's a really great place to perform and, to watch a show and to direct a show.
Yeah, not a bad seat in the house at all. You're up close. You're feeling the energy of the cast as they're performing.
There might be 4 or 5 bad seats in the house on the extreme sides, but we don't sell those until the very last minute.
right.
And we have had shows where we've had to sell all those seats, and I've had to buy those seats when I can't get a seat anywhere else. So, but it's totally worth it. Totally.
No, I mean it's
those are actually special reserved for Josh Albright.
Yeah, I was gonna say they call those the Albright seats.
The Josh seats. The Josh seats.
No, it is an awesome experience, and it is. I think it's great that it's an option to have that intimate feeling, because I feel like, there's a lot of the theater district by itself has offered a lot to the city, but if you want to really feel like you're immersed in a show, the Skylight's perfect. It's the perfect example of a place where you can truly go and feel that and experience that every time. And so if you've never been, to your point, Josh, beyond just the beauty of the theater itself, that intimate feeling is worth the price of admission if you're going to go and have a night out and see a show.
I got a very pointed question for you. When you first walked in, Michael, and you saw it back in 2019, right? Were you immediately like, "Oh, I know what's going to play here"? Like, did you sit feeling the intimacy, the way that it was built? Were you immediately was your brain running like, "Boy, whatever the show is, Forever Plaid, Jersey Boys, whatever it might be," you're like, "I got to do it here."
My feeling was similar to that. It was more, anything will be stunning in this venue. And I still feel that. It just, nothing won't look great with that surrounding you.
Have you had any repeat shows?
Well, not in my tenure, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't like to repeat shows, even that Skylight's done for the past 66 years. But we've done some. In fact, we just closed Spitfire Grill last week, and it was the 3rd time we've done that show. We don't often repeat, but sometimes a show warrants it. An audience will request it enough, or it just feels like the right time or a special opportunity. That was, in fact, a 25th anniversary production directed by the author. So, sometimes it makes sense.
A little bit special there.
Yeah, that one makes sense. Well, and the big show, A Rockin Midsummer Dream, Midsummer Night's Dream, is coming out, and we're going to dive into that plus a little bit more when we come back on Joshing Around Milwaukee. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone, to Joshing Around Milwaukee. We're having an awesome time with the artistic director of Milwaukee Skylight Music Theater, Michael Unger. And Michael, the big show that we're here to talk about today is A Rockin Midsummer Night's Dream. Tell us about the show that's going to be playing from April 10th through the 26th.
I'm happy to. So it is a fabulous original rock score set to one of Shakespeare's greatest comedies, A Midsummer Night's Dream. And it is a blast. If you love Shakespeare, you will love this show. If you fear Shakespeare, this show will change your mind. It is family friendly. It is a comedy to end all comedies. It has a lively cast, a lot of young kids in the show. We have a bunch of college students from the Peck School of the Arts at UW Milwaukee. We're partnering with them and also a pro cast. And the music is infectious. There are so many earworms. You will walk out humming 30 tunes, I promise you. And it's Shakespeare's funniest comedy, so you'll be laughing. And it's just, there's a lot of absurdity, a lot of magic, a lot of love. But the provenance of the show was created at a theater company I started with a local father in Sandy Hook, Connecticut, shortly after the Sandy Hook elementary school tragedy. We had a theater company there for 9 years. We did about 17 shows, working with over 650 Newtown youth on stage, backstage, and in the orchestra. And we created the show for the Newtown kids the second year of our work there in 2014. And it was those Newtown families and those Newtown kids have forever their indelible mark on this piece, always will. We created it for them. We built it on them, and it premiered there. The Skylight production is the professional world premiere. So it's the first time we've had professionals on the stage. And I have many of my collaborators who created the show with me from 12 years ago here in Milwaukee with me, which is making me very, very happy. The music director, the choreographer, the guy playing Bottom, one of the lead characters, and the composer, my friend Eric Svekar, who wrote a phenomenal score. The show was also done only one other time at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School shortly after the Parkland, Florida shooting. And opening night in Parkland, some of the Newtown kids came down to see the show, and It was a confluence of these two communities that share this horrible bond, but also shared the bond of using the arts to heal. And that's what the theater company in Newtown was all about. It was called New Arts, part of the 1214 Foundation, started by a wonderful man named Dr. Michael Baruti. Had local teachers involved, lots and lots of local Newtown kids and families, and it was an incredible 9 years. But this show is very special because it was born there, and it got launched there. They made a documentary. I'm just going on and on, aren't I? I'm so sorry.
Well, it's a riveting story.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
They made a documentary of our work from auditions to opening night, an award-winning film directed by Lloyd Kramer, a gorgeous film by the documentary group. You can find it on any of the streaming platforms. We also just had a screening of it a few days ago at Skylight, but it's a beautiful film that also follows the tragic story of a family who lost their daughter at Sandy Hook, and it's about how they used youth empowerment and music to help heal them coming out of that tragedy. But it does also focus on the creation of the show and the auditioning of the kids and a couple of the families of the kids, and it's really a beautiful film that is very hopeful in light of all the horrendous events of the inciting action of the film. But it does show how the arts can be used to heal and give kids a sense of community and a feeling of safety again. It was really a wonderful time.
So had it been a sort of a dream of yours to, no pun intended, see what I did there? Mm-hmm. A dream of yours to bring it to the stage at the theater?
It's a great question. So as a child actor, I played Puck at age 13 and again at age like 21 or something. So I've loved that role. Like I played Puck at the Renaissance Fair when it was in Gurnee, Illinois, before it went to Wisconsin, before it crossed the border. I'm from Highland Park, Illinois, so, it was in a good state. And I've always loved that show. And actually, I literally remember almost all of Puck's lines from when I was 13. For some reason, they stuck with me. So I've always loved this show. And the first year in Newtown, we did a musical called Seussical, which is about a little boy trying to protect the town of Whoville. And, what better metaphor for what happened in Newtown? We all failed to protect Newtown that day. Mm-hmm. And we have failed to protect many schools since that day, countless, still ongoing. But anyway, so the second year we were, do a show back in Newtown, we thought we wanted something very different. We couldn't find a show as sort of appropriate in sort of terms of a metaphor. So we decided to do something completely different, and we created a new musical. Now, we double cast this show, so we had 2 full casts of Midsummer, and on top of that, we did a third show. We did Dennis DeYoung's version of 101 Dalmatians with, I literally miscounted. I had 102 kids on stage playing Dalmatians, and I miscounted. It was supposed to be 101. Anyway, so it was a very busy summer, but.
Is Mr. Roboto in that musical?
It was not. So. No, it's a great score. And Dennis came out to opening night.
That's amazing.
Came to rehearsals.
So
it was
cool.
Incredible. And of course, we had him here for Hunchback of Notre Dame, my first year here, or the first year after the pandemic. Anyway, so I've always loved that show, and I always thought it would make a great musical. And my friend Eric Svekar, whom I collaborated on several years ago, he had written a musical of Caligula that is really rocking. It's a glam rock opera. It is so cool. I hope to bring it here someday because I love that piece. But I asked him, he's a brilliant musician, like the top audition accompanist for Broadway shows, also a phenom on keyboard. He can do anything, and great composer as well. So I said, would you be interested? We were just talking about this. I think I asked him in December, and we started rehearsals like in May. So he wrote an entire musical in that short time, and we were writing literally on the kids as we were rehearsing it. So we'd have, songs that would come in literally 2 weeks before we opened, and we would put in new songs. It was a great time, and it's a great score. He's a wonderful artist, and he's here. He's playing the whole show here in Milwaukee.
That's amazing.
Very, very cool. And so a Rockin Midsummer Night's Dream is going to be April 10th through the 26th. And but there's plenty of shows if for some reason you're not there. And as we mentioned before, these things, you got to make these decisions ahead of time. So we have the lineup ready to go for 2026 and 2027. We're going to get to that and give you some idea of how to get tickets and how to support the Skylight Music Theater when we come back on Joshing Around Milwaukee. Stay tuned. All right, everyone, welcome back to Joshing Around Milwaukee. We're talking to Michael Unger, the artistic director of Milwaukee Skylight Music Theater. And Michael, you guys already know the lineup, the season announcement coming out for the 2026-2027 season and what you guys are going to be putting together. Talk to us about that.
Happy to. So we just announced a week ago, had a great concert with some of our Skylight favorites and some new Skylight folks, welcoming them to the family. It was a great production. We sang songs from each of the shows and had a little like award ceremony kind of vibe. It was really fun. Anyway, we open on September 25th with the great musical, some say one of the greatest musicals ever, or some say the greatest musical ever written, Gypsy, which is, a phenomenal story and played by some of the greatest female artists ever in the theater, starting with Ethel Merman and most recently Audra McDonald and a whole host of wonderful artists in between. My wife will actually be playing Mama Rose in this production, Janet Metz, who's done several productions here. Nice. Happy to announce that. And opposite Andrew Varela, and they were paired up in Fiddler at the beginning of this season as well. So we're excited about that pairing again. Next, we do a musical that is based on the movie Big, starring Tom Hanks, written by some very dear friends of mine, Richard Maltby, David Shire, and John Weidman. And that opens on November 13th. And that is literally the movie as a musical on stage with a fabulous score, super fun, a lot of kids in the show. That's our holiday show running through the end of the year.
I do have to ask, and it might be a spoiler, does the fortune teller machine sing in this musical?
Of course.
Yes.
So good.
It's a musical.
So good.
We would expect nothing less.
Have you had auditions? Because I think it's my dream role.
You want to be Zoltar? Okay. No, we have not had auditions. So, Josh, you just come on up, sign up. You could.
I would just like to. Okay, this is where we stop the show. Of all of your dream roles, like that's the one.
A vending machine
is
your
in this moment. I mean, I haven't been dreaming about it for years.
Your dream role. That
just
would
in
be
this
your dream
moment.
Role.
I mean,
so here's
the
the line.
coin-operated fortune teller.
Here's the entire part of Zoltar.
it might be a little easy. There's really no, there's no dialogue in the movie.
Right.
It just spits out a ticket, right?
Yes.
If I'm remembering correct.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, here I can be in the musical without actually singing. But then that's why I had to ask questions.
I'm going to sing it for you. Make your wish.
See, I can do that.
Do you think you can do that?
I think I can do that.
Wish is granted.
Oh, now we're getting
No, just
make your wish.
Fantastic. Excellent. Maybe we can work a walk-on role or something.
Did we just have an audition happen?
I think we had an audition
The first
on radio.
audition in the history of
Call up the
Joshing
Tonys. Here we go. Here I come.
As his agent, he'll do it for free.
Okay, good.
It costs
Good.
nothing.
And you get 10%
You can just
of that.
have them.
Yeah, I just need 2 cookies and a Coke. I got this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, I'll take all 10% of nothing. on
Moving
that
right
one.
along. So
It's like,
after
I got more shows I got to get to.
I know.
Thanks for
After the
derailing
new
this,
year,
Josh.
we have the wonderful musical that is so important to all ages and especially our youth, Dear Evan Hansen, opening January 22nd, followed by a super funny musical called A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder. By the way, Dear Evan Hansen and Gentleman's Guide both won Tonys the year that they were on Broadway or opened on Broadway. And A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder is a delightful sort of classical romp about a man who is 8th in line or 9th in line to earn this huge inheritance. And he has to knock off everyone in between him and the inheritance. And all the relatives, man, woman, child, are all played by one tour de force actor who is a brilliant friend of mine, Jimmy Ludwig, who's coming in to play it. He's been on Broadway in a bunch of shows. Anyway, so that is a really funny show that actually harkens back a little bit to Skylight's past. It has an operetta feel to it, although it is a contemporary musical, but a great score. And then we close with the fabulous, nostalgic musical Rock of Ages, opening on April 6th, closing on May 2nd.
Speaking of Styx.
Yeah.
There's got to be a Styx song in there.
There are a couple Styx songs.
Yeah.
Not Dennis's, by the way, unfortunately.
Oh, really?
No, they're Tommy's, I think. But, Dennis are my closest friends. Love Dennis DeYoung. But I love Styx, too. So, yeah, there are songs from Twisted Sister, Styx. Like, it is a catalog. It's a jukebox musical, and probably one of the more successful ones. It is a blast.
There was a movie made out of it, too, I think.
There was with Tom Cruise. He was fantastic in it. Yeah, yep.
Yeah. But this is going to be, because the other Josh is going to be in this one.
Yeah, that's going to be the one. My audition for that will not be happening on this episode of Joshing Around
Yeah, a little
Milwaukee.
White Snake or something?
Yeah.
What do you got?
Yeah, sure.
Nope. Look at the time.
Bon Jovi.
So really quick before we get out, Michael, tell us where people can go to learn more information about the shows for this season, next season, and get tickets.
Go to our website, www.skylightmusictheatre, theatre.org, and you can get informed about all of our subscriptions and single tickets, which single tickets aren't quite on sale yet. So we recommend you go and get subscriptions, which is the best way to get the best prices, the best seats, and lots of perks. So, or you can call our box office. The number is on the website. Let me see. Hold on. I've got, it is 414. Oh my gosh, I was 291-7800. Operators are standing by. Yeah, but go to the website. All the information is there, and while you're there, you can pick up tickets to Rockin Midsummer Night's Dream.
I love it. Thank you, Michael, so much for joining us. We really appreciate it, and we're looking forward to getting out to a show soon.
Thank you for having me.
All right, and thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Joshing Around Milwaukee. For more information on Joshing Around, go to visitmilwaukee.org. We'll see you next. All right, everyone, thanks again for joining us for this episode of Joshing Around Milwaukee. If you're seeing this part of today's show, it's because you're watching or listening on one of Visit Milwaukee's social media channels, and we really do appreciate that. We're having a great time with Michael Unger, the artistic director of Milwaukee's Skylight Music Theater. And Michael, this is the part of the show. Josh asks his big question. Josh, take it away.
That's right. There's a lot of great momentum, a lot of energy in the city of Milwaukee. We like to call this fresh city vibes. So our question today is, what's giving you fresh city vibes right now?
First of all, I'm going to say that the arts in this town punch so far above its weight, it's remarkable, which I was not aware of when I first came here to interview. It is unbelievable. The world-class opera, theater, ballet, music. It is just astounding. So, and I'm from the north suburbs of Chicago, and I'm telling you, getting up here from the north suburbs is probably quicker because of construction than getting to Chicago, far cheaper. So I highly recommend checking out Milwaukee, even if you're from south of the border, which I am. But in terms of vibes, the restaurants here also are incredible. In fact, I have a lot of my friends from out of town who are with me working on the show, and they are gobsmacked at every restaurant I take them to. So last night, I went to my favorite restaurant in Milwaukee. I hope it's okay to plug. And it's called La Merenda on National in Walker's
Great
Point.
choice.
Yep.
Phenomenal. And
Big fans.
Talked to the owner there. And it was the first restaurant I went to in Milwaukee when I came here to interview for the job. And it was a great time. And we had amazing food, new items on the menu. And I just love that joint. But also right next to it, Allie's Brothers, love those bagels. The Latka waffles are unbelievable.
Yep.
And, having lived in New York for decades and decades, it's hard to find a good bagel in the Midwest. And they have great bagels.
They do. They are very popular right now. Yeah. Have you had it?
I have not. I haven't had a
So
bagel over there.
get the egg salad there and get those Latka waffles.
There you go.
You will thank
Make
me.
notes.
I would be remiss since we're talking restaurants. I know you guys have a nice partnership with Tre Rivali just down the block from
We do.
the theater.
Yeah, I love that place too. Onesto across the street. But Tre Rivali has a new partnership with us where we have dinner and show packages, and they even have hotel packages if you're coming from south of the border or any other border, or even from you just want to take a downtown staycation. Tre Rivali and the Journeyman Hotel have a partnership with us. That's also all information you can get on the website. Great food, a great hotel, and literally less than a block away from the theater.
I mean, take all the legwork out of it.
Yeah.
Just go to the website, boom, click package, dinner and a show, and a stay, boom.
Yeah, and we've had the
Done.
sample, the tasting menu a couple times, and it's phenomenal. Yeah,
I mean,
it's great.
Done.
That's done. That's
Done and
perfect.
done, my miss.
Love it. Thank you so much for joining us, Michael. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you at a show very soon.
Fantastic. Thank you.
All right, and thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Joshing Around Milwaukee. As I mentioned before, you can go to visitmilwaukee.org to find out more information about Joshing Around. You can also see that episode we did seasons and seasons ago from the Skylight Music Theater. That'll be found there as well. Visitmilwaukee.org. We appreciate it, and we'll see you next time.
Two Joshes are better than one.